Today we're looking at the British English accent of Emma Watson and how she's able to change it from this
I'm Hermione Granger
to this.
Hey guys, how sick is Channing Tatum's bod?
All that's coming right up, guys, so let's run the intro. Welcome to Eat, Sleep, Dream English. My name is Tom and I teach fresh, modern British English so that you can take your English to the next level and achieve your life goals, whatever they may be. Now, I'm sure you know of Emma Watson. She is a hugely successful British actress. She made her name playing Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter series.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Now let's talk about her British English accent. She speaks in contemporary RP.
You post something on your Instagram account and you get instant feedback.
RP stands for received pronunciation. Now this is part 2 of my series about received pronunciation. In part 1 we looked at the Queen's English. Very formal, extremely posh. Now, as you can guess from the name, contemporary RP is a more modern version of the Queen's English. There are certain similarities, but there are also quite a few differences. Contemporary RP it's a more relaxed, informal version of the Queen's English, but it still maintains that emphasis on clarity and articulation.
I'm here with BuzzFeed. I'm playing with tiny cute kittens. My day is made.
There's our first word, kittens, kittens. Now, as a lot of you will have gathered by now, the T sound in British English is extremely important, and it's a great indicator of what accent someone has. So just there for Emma Watson, she said kittens. She used a glottal T. She didn't fully pronounce that T sound. She said kittens, kittens. She kind of stopped just before she pronounced the T, so kittens. Kittens. That's a glottal T, and that's very normal in many accents in British English, including contemporary RP.
I'm playing with tiny cute kittens.
In the Queen's English, for example, in part 1 of this series, the Queen would say that T sound, that true T. She would say kittens. But speakers of contemporary RP sometimes choose to use the glottal T. Sometimes they'll say a true T, sometimes they'll say the glottal T. Now, interestingly, Emma Watson has 3 different ways of saying the T. She says the glottal T, kittens. She will say with the true T, kittens. And she'll also use an Americanized version, which is kittens. Kittens is a kind of a D sound.
I'm playing with tiny cute kittens. We designed for Belle this ring that would sit on her little finger.
Here we have some interesting intonation. This intonation pattern is something called uptalk. It's where the speaker goes up at the end of the sentence, even though it's not a question. Okay, it's an affirmative sentence, but she has gone up as if it were a question, as if she were asking you for some information, but she's not.
Ring that would sit on her little finger.
That would sit on her little finger, so we're going up at the end. She does this again later on.
I just wanted to make sure that we stayed true.
That we'd stay true, going up. Now, the origins of this are debated. Linguists are not entirely sure. There is a theory that it came from Australian English, where it's much more common. Now, why have we had this influence from Australia? Well, it could be through culture, so television programs, films, things like that. It could be because of movement of young British people over to Australia. It's a very popular place to go as a young person to travel around, and possibly through those travel experiences, people have picked up that intonation pattern because it's quite catchy, and then brought it back to Britain. This intonation pattern is mostly found in young contemporary RP speakers.
I just wanted to make sure that we stayed true. Particularly young girls feel like their voice doesn't matter and what they have to say doesn't really matter.
Ah, amazing. She uses the same word, matter, and she pronounces it differently within 2 seconds of each other. In the first example, she uses an American style T, sort of that flap, that matter, with the D sound. Then the second time, she uses a true T, matter.
Particularly young girls feel like their voice doesn't matter and what they have to say doesn't really matter. And I think I would want her to know that it does.
Now this sound is really important in received pronunciation and contemporary RP, is does, the ah. Now, is a defining sound in RP because in Britain, the northern accents don't have that sound. Whereas the southern accents and RP, generally associated with the south, does have that sound. Now in the northern accent, it'd be does, the sound. Whereas in RP, it's ah. Other words that have that sound are like run, or butter, or Sunday. They all have that ah sound. Here's another example.
Shut up, Harry.
Up, up. Now can you imagine if Harry Potter was set in the north of England? Let's say Yorkshire. What would it sound like? Up, up, up. Very different. So that ah sound is a very distinctive feature of contemporary RP.
So many times when people have told me that I can't do something, it's gonna be too hard or whatever else.
Here's another distinctive feature of contemporary RP. Can't and hard, that ah sound. Now you find that sound a lot in contemporary RP on A's. So glass, or grass, or bath, or dance. In northern accents you would probably have like dance, bath, glass. In American English also that same ah sound, so dance, glass. So this R sound is particular to contemporary RP.
When people have told me that I can't do something, it's gonna be too hard or whatever else.
Guys, before we continue, let's just take a moment to appreciate these kittens.
The rose petals, look. Pretty rose petals. I had the sound guys play happy.
Here's a great word to contrast the Queen's English with contemporary RP. Happy. That E sound at the end, the Y has E, a long sound, E, happy. In the Queen's English, it's a shortened version, it's happy. Happy, it's an I sound. This can be applied to any word with a Y on the end, so very, really, clearly, all those kinds of words. So in contemporary RP, you have a longer sound, happy.
I had the sound guys play happy. It's the most surreal thing I've ever seen. Everyone in costume and the Beauty and the Beast ballroom.
Okay, are you ready to dive deep into some pronunciation? Because this is really interesting. The words that she said were the Beauty and the Beast ballroom. The Beauty and the Beast ballroom. Clearly she didn't say it like that. She used lots of interesting features. So the first feature is that Americanized T, beauty, beauty. Then she used weak forms on and the. She didn't say and the, she said the, and the. So beauty and the Beast ballroom. Now, what's happened there? Now at the end of the word beast you have a T. Now T is a plosive. What is a plosive? It's a sound that is made with air being released from your mouth. So T. You can feel the air on your hand. Now T is a plosive and ballroom begins with B, which is also a plosive. B, B, B. You can feel the air again. When you have two plosives next to each other like that, the first one is not released. So you wouldn't say beast ballroom, that would take too long. So you don't release that first plosive sound. It's beast ballroom, beast ballroom. Can you hear that? I'm not releasing that T, beast ballroom. Okay, so let's hear that again. Let's hear her say that again.
Everyone in costume and the Beauty and the Beast ballroom.
So can you hear those features now? We've got the Americanized T on beauty, we've got the weak forms on and the, and we've got the plosive not being released on beast.
And the Beauty and the Beast ballroom. And the Beauty and the Beast ballroom.
And this is great for connected speech. If you want to make your sentences sound more fluent and connected, these are the kind of features you need to be incorporating. Now, just as a general observation about contemporary RP, you'll notice that there's a real emphasis on clarity. Emma Watson really tries to articulate all the sounds.
I loved it as a shorthand for ideas that I found really difficult to express myself.
Now, just quickly, to show you her versatility and the way that she can change her accent, let's have a look at her doing an American accent.
Hey guys, how sick is Channing Tatum's bod?
As you can see, very different. She has to change the shape of her mouth, extend some of those vowels, completely different. That's not an easy thing to do. I think she does it pretty well. So yeah, respect to Emma Watson. I want you guys to tell me, what do you think of Emma Watson's accent? What do you think about contemporary RP? Is it an accent that you like? Do you like listening to it? Is it one that you speak with? Tell me in the comments below. If you know anyone that would enjoy this video, please share it with them. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. This is Tom, the Chief Dreamer, saying goodbye.